Hey, it's DeagleBeagle. So this is a video about the best dragon dancers in the format. I would say it's hard to say right now for Series 1, but I feel like Dragonite might be the best dragon dancer, or maybe Caliber. Because with loaded dice, this thing hits really hard after a dragon dance, and Glaive Rush as well. But for Dragonite, it has a priority move and it has multi-scale. So it's easier to get up the Dragon Dance in the first place. I feel like with Caliber, especially if you don't have a defensive Terra type, it's harder to get up the Dragon Dance. So if you're using Dragon Dance on Caliber, maybe I suggest using a defensive Terra type. People have used electric and whatnot, I believe, for coverage, and it only is weak to ground if you use electric. Caliber, even though I think someone used water. Water might be decent, but up to you. And Dragonite having extreme speed and multi-scale makes it quite good. I use weakness policy with it because I think of it this way. If you have multi-scale, even if they hit you with the hard super effective move, it's not going to do that much, and you're going to get a weakness policy up. If you have weakness policy with it, it makes it so that they have to do a different strategy if they don't want the weakness policy to activate. They have to hit you with like a move that's not super effective to take off the multi-scale, and then hit you with a super effective move right after that, instead of hitting you with like one super effective move and then finishing off you with another super effective move. So it kind of forces them to do less damage to you if they want to avoid the weakness policy, at least on the first hit. So I've just been doing really well with Dragonite. Can't complain. Extreme speed getting boosted by the Dragon Dance is just really good. Even though I suppose you could say, well, use Choice Spin, but sometimes you don't always want to get locked into extreme speed. Sometimes you want to use like Ice Spinner to get rid of the Psychic Terrain and then extreme speed, or be able to have more flexibility, like other moves besides just extreme speed for coverage. Like on mine, I think I used extreme speed. I'm testing low kick on it. The fourth move is hard to pick, but Dragon Dance, extreme speed, and why am I blanking on the other move? I think I said it already. Ice Spinner. There. I feel like Ice Spinner is really good because the main counter for Dragonite seems to be Psychic Terrain. And if you get rid of the Psychic Terrain, then you can actually use extreme speed, which is like a lot of the point of using Dragonite usually. So that's what I would go for. So loaded dice is good with Caliber, possibly other items, but especially loaded dice. And then Roaring Moon, you could use loaded dice with it as well, with Scale Shot. And it is, I think it could be potentially really good with it. I haven't tested it yet, but raising its speed after the last hit is pretty good, even though it does lower your defense, so they might be able to finish you off with priority a little bit easier. So I don't know if that stat change stuff would actually help you or not that much, but I think it would on average help you. It just means priority would finish you off more. And Gyarados is a good Dragon Dancer because it has better defensive typing than like Salamence or even Dragonite, but I found it doesn't do that much damage, especially if you're not Terra Blast Flying, and Terra Blast Flying requires a Terra type. So I don't know about this Pokemon. And if you use like Terra Ground to get the electric immunity, they could just predict and hydro pump you that turn, or wait until they see that you actually Terra Ground and hydro pump you after that. So I don't know about Gyarados. I would probably use a Pokemon that's a little bit more offensive with the Dragon Dance, like Excalibur, or a priority move at least to outspeed them and stuff, because Gyarados does outspeed a lot of Pokemon after a Dragon Dance, like all these Pokemon do. Almost all of them do, but I don't know. It just seems like you have to also worry about Defiant with it, with enemies, because there's so many of those Pokemon. Anahalape and King Ambit are used a lot, and it's like, what are you gonna use, Moxie with it? Maybe, but Gyarados, I think, is not the best Trick Roomer. Or sorry, Dragon Dancer. Iron Thorns is a better Dragon Dancer than Tyranitar because it has more speed, but that's just looking at it as a Dragon Dancer. Because Tyranitar, the problem with Tyranitar is it's a little bit too slow for Dragon Dance, at least in doubles. So even if you use Jolly, it's still gonna go after Meowscarada and a bunch of other Pokemon. Like, not a ton, but let's see at least some of the Pokemon it would not outspeed. So if it has 124, that's 186. So you're still going to be outsped by Roaring Moon, even without the photosynthesis boost. You're going to be outsped by possibly Dondozo, that's been having its commander ally activate its ability. But yeah, Meowscarada is probably the most notable one, and a few others. So personally, I want to recommend Tyranitar for Dragon Dance. Iron Thorns, you almost probably have to Dragon Dance with it, because if you're not Dragon Dancing with it, then why not just use Tyranitar instead? Like, use its Quark Drive to your advantage. Otherwise, you probably might as well use Tyranitar. Even though Iron Thorns, I suppose, could use a Scarf set. I probably should have covered that on my Iron Thorn set. But I would say if you have Electric Terrain up and you have an item that boosts its attack, and like not booster energy, but you're able to get like Electric Terrain up somehow, maybe with Pincursion or whatever lead, and then later send this in the back, and you have a boosted item like Life Orb or something, that could be really good. Just like really powerful. So can't underestimate it. So thanks for watching. I think this covers pretty much all the good Dragon Dancers. And Salamence, actually, it's decent at Dragon Dance as well. Let's just check the Dragon Dancers one more time. Pokemon like Dragapult wouldn't be good with Dragon Dance because it already outspeeds nearly everything in the game, so you'd mostly just get an attack increase in effect. Because I tried it one time, and you can set it up sometimes, especially since no one expects it, but it's on open team sheets, they're going to expect it anyways. Salamence is decent with Dragon Dance, but personally, if I'm really trying to use Dragon Dance, I would use either Excalibur or Dragonite. Okay, thanks for watching the video.